guys, so for this tutorial I'm going to be using my size 3.5mm hook, my scissors and my yarn. So for this tutorial I'll be using leftover yarns from old projects because I have a lot of leftover yarns lying around. The only new yarn I'm going to be using is my white yarn, which I'll be using as a buffer between the yarns. So between each colors I'll be using the white yarn, and this is from a brand called Asian Canon. So for this tutorial you can use any weight 4 yarn of your choice. Yeah, weight 4 or DK yarn of your choice, or you can use a lightweight yarn depending on how thick or how light you want the project to be. But try to make sure if you're mixing colors that the yarns are the same weight. So if you're using lightweight yarn for one color, you have to make sure you're using lightweight yarn for the rest of the colors. So before I talk too much, I'm just going to get started. So for this I'm going to be working in 3 panels, the back panel and the 2 front panels. What you want to do is you want to measure your shoulder. So you want to measure your shoulder blade depending on how you want the top to be. So the top is going to be like an halter neck top, so you have to just measure where you want the starting sorry, you have to measure the starting point of your shoulder blade. I don't know if that makes sense, but guys, it's an halter neck top, so you just have to measure where you want the shoulder panel to be. So to get started, I'm going to start by making a chain which is going to be in multiples of 4 plus 3. So whatever measurement you're going to use, try and make sure it's in multiples of 4 plus 3. So let's get started. I have a total of 47 chains, which is multiples of 4 plus 3. Now start by chaining 1, going to the first stitch with 1 double crochet. Now chain 1, skip 1 stitch and go into the next 3 stitches with 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, go into the next 3 stitches and 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, go into the next 3 stitches. With 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, go into the next 3 stitches with 1 double crochet. So you're just going to repeat this till you get to the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row and I'm going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch and go into the last stitch with 1 double crochet. For row 2, you're going to start increasing. So to increase, you're going to start by chaining 4. This serves as a double crochet, which is an increase, plus a chain 1. Now turn over, yarn over and go into this chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Repeat till you get to the end of the row. Now I've come to the end of the row. Chain 1. In this last chain 1 space, you're going to do an increase. So go in with 3 double crochets. Now to do an increase, you're going to chain 1 and go back into the same stitch with 1 double crochet. So this extra double crochet serves as your increase. I'm going to switch my color. So like I said, I had a bunch of leftover yarns that I'm going to be using for this project. So yarn over and go through both yarns and pull through. Chain 1. Now you're going to do an increase. So you're going to start by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn over. This chain 4 serves as a double crochet plus a chain 1, and the double crochet is an increase. Sorry. So go into this chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Now chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. You're just going to continue with this till you get to the end of the row where you're going to do an increase. I'm at the end of the 3rd row. I'm going to chain 1. In this last chain 1 space, go in with 3 double crochets. Now since I'm going to do an increase at this end, I'm going to chain 1 and go back into the same stitch with 1 double crochet. So from this point, you're just going to keep on increasing till you have the length that is wide enough to cover your armhole for the back panel. So you're just going to do this till you have the amount of rows that will give you half of your armhole. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn over. I'm going to do an increase, yarn over and go into the chain 1 space with 3 double crochet. So this chain 4 I did serves as an increase plus a chain 1. Now chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. So just keep doing this till you have the length you want, and then you can stop increasing. So I'll just do this till I have the amount of increase I want, which I'll let you know how many rows of increase I do. But just keep alternating between row 2 and row 3 till you have the length you want. So for the back panel, I did a total of 26 rows and I did 14 rows of increase, and I forgot to film the part where I did the remaining part of the top without increase. So what I did was I did 14 rows of increase and then 12 rows of no increase or decrease. So I have a total of 14 rows of increase, and from this point I stopped increasing. So if you want the top to be longer, you can just keep going, or you can do the amount of rows I did depending on the length you want for the top. And also for the armhole, you can keep on increasing if you have wider arms, or you can reduce the amount of rows of increase depending on your arm measurement. But for this I did 14 rows of increase, which is perfect for a size medium to large. For the front panel, I'm going to start by making a chain of 15, which is a multiples of 4 plus 3. That's 4 times 3, 12 plus 3, making it 15. So I have a total of 15 chains. Now chain 1, chain 4, 1 2 3 4, skip the first stitch and go into the next 3 stitches with 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, go into the next 3 stitches with 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, go into the next 3 stitches with 1 double crochet. Chain 1 and go into the next 3 stitches with 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and go into the last stitch with 1 double crochet. So I have a total of 3 sets of double crochet. Now for the second row, you're going to start increasing on one side of the panel. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start by chaining 1. I won't do any increase on the side. So in the first chain 1 space, go in with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, skip 3 double crochet stitches, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, in this last chain 1 space, go in with 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to be doing an increase on this side. So like I said, I'm not doing any increase on this side, only at this end. So I'm going to chain 1 and go back into the chain 1 space with 1 double crochet. Now I'm just going to switch my color. Yarn over through both yarns, chain 1, now chain 3 more, making it a total of 4 chains. So I chained 1 2 3 4, yarn over, go into this chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. This chain first serves as your increase plus a chain 1. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Now I'm just going to go into this chain 1 space I did at the beginning. Sorry, the chain 1 I did at the beginning of the row with 1 double crochet. For the 4th row, start by chaining 1. I'm not doing any increase on this end, so in this chain 1 space, go in with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, going to the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Now in this last stitch I'm going to be doing an increase, so chain 1, going to this last chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1 and go back into the same stitch with 1 double crochet. Now I'm just going to switch my yarn. So yarn over through both yarns, chain 1. Now because I'm going to be doing an increase on this end, I'm going to chain 3 more, 1 2 3, making it a total of 4. In the chain 1 space, go in with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, skip the double crochet stitches and go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Now you're just going to keep on repeating this, which I'll let you know how many rows I do before we work on the next step, or if I have to do anything different. But just know that you're increasing on this end and you're not increasing on this end. I have a total of 9 rows of the granny stitch. So this is the arm area, and I have a total of 9 rows of increase on this side. Now if you remember, I didn't do any increase on this side. So for the 10th row, I'm going to start increasing on both sides of the panel. So we've already started increasing on the arm area, and I'm going to start increasing on the neck area. So what you want to do is you want to start by chaining 4, which serves as a double crochet plus a chain 1. Now yarn over and go into this chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. So this double crochet stitch, the chain 3 I did, serves as your increase. Now chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. I've come to the end of the row. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do an increase in this last chain 1 space. So go in with 3 double crochets. Chain 1 and go back into the same stitch with 1 double crochet. This double crochet serves as an increase. Now I'm just going to switch my color. Chain 1, which serves as your turning chain. Now chain 3, because you're going to do an increase. So the chain 3 serves as an increase. Yarn over and go into the chain 1 space with 1 double crochet. Go into the chain 1 space with 2 more double crochets, making it 3. Now chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. You're just going to continue with this till you get to the end of the row, and you're going to do an increase at the end of the row. I've come to the end of the row. I'm going to chain 1 and go into this chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Now because I'm doing an increase on this side, I'm going to chain 1 and go back into the same space with 1 double crochet. So as you can see, I still have my increase on this end, and from row 1 to row 9 I didn't have any increase. Now I have 2 rows of increase for row 10 and for row 11. For row 12 you're going to do an increase, so start by chaining 4, turn over, yarn over, and go into this chain 1 space with 3 double crochet. So the chain 4 serves as a double crochet plus a chain 1, and the double crochet is the increase. Now chain 1 and go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. So you're going to continue with this. You're just going to keep on increasing till you have the amount of rows you want. So for the back panel, I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I did a total of 14 rows of increase for the back panel for the arm, meaning for the front panel, the arm area, I'm going to do a total of 14 rows of increase, and then I'm going to stop increasing on this end. Now I'm going to keep on increasing on the front part of the front panel, or rather the right part of the front panel, and now let's know how many rows of increase I have till I stop increasing. But for now, just keep on increasing on both sides of the panel so you have the amount of increase you want for the arm area. So I have a total of 18 rows, and I did a total of 9 rows of increase for the inner part of the front panel. So for the arm area, I did a total of 14 rows of increase, like I said, and then I stopped increasing. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I stopped increasing on the 14th row for the arm area, and then for the inner part of the front panel, I did a total of 9 rows of increase. So I did 9 rows of no increase and then 9 rows of increase. Now for the 19th row, I'm going to stop increasing on this end. So this is getting tangled. Okay, so I'm going to stop increasing on this end. So I'm just doing only 9 rows of increase. You can do more increase if you want, but this is okay for me. So this is going to be how the neckline of the front panel is going to be. So now I'm just going to switch my yarn color. So just ignore the colors I'm using because I'm using leftover yarns, so I don't really have a choice in terms of the colors. I'm just picking any color available. So chain 1, going to the chain 1 space with 3 double crochet, chain 1, going to the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochet. You're just going to continue this till you get to the end of the row. Now I've come to the end of the row, chain 1, going to this chain 1 space with 3 double crochet. So since I'm not going to be doing any increase, I'm not going to chain 1, and I'm not going to go back into the same stitch with a double crochet like I've been doing in the previous rows. I'm just going to chain 1 and turn over. Now because the first stitch is a 3 double crochet stitch, you're going to chain 4, which is going to serve as double crochet plus a chain 1. So I already chained 1, chain 3 more. Now yarn over, going to this chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, going to the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. You're just going to continue with this till you get to the end of the row. So from this point, you're not going to be doing any increase on both sides. You're just going to continue with no increase. So you have the length you want for the top. I'm done with both panels, and I just joined the front panels to the back panel. Now what I did was I just stitched the two front panels together at the lower end. So this is alternative, or you can use a button if you want it to be an open top. Well, I just decided I didn't want it to be an open top, which was a last minute decision, so I just stitched the lower part of the front panels together. So that's it for this tutorial. If there's any question you want to ask, you can leave the comment down in the comment section and I'll definitely reply. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. And please ignore how rough the top is looking. I used a lot of leftover yarns that were quite rough. So anyhow, I'll see you guys in my next tutorial.